I feel when I go to your clinic, I feel there is hospitality.
Because my bathroom needs to be hotel quality.
Jaco is crazy or successful, man.
I grew up in South Africa, and there you don't have a choice.
This is the truth.
It's a privilege to work on other human beings.
The royal family, they're very special patients, right?
5 people with machine guns in your surgery, and you have to remove a tooth. Our service is based on anybody that can have a royal service.
It's costly.
And my focus is not on making money. My focus is on making my people happy.
What do you advise the new generation?
Learn to be a business person. Learn to sell. Learn about culture. Learn how to treat other people right. Congratulations. I think I've taken over your podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Charismatic podcast. This is Ayham Shaban, owner of Charismatic Dental Lab. Today, we have a very special guest. He is the owner, CEO, and clinical director of Dental Studio Group. Dental Studio Group is one of the best clinics in the world, I can say it, because you can feel that when you step the clinic, they are taking individual care of every patient, not only physical, but also mental well-being. So welcome with me with Dr. Dr.Smith. Dr. Jaco, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. That was a great introduction.
Yeah?
I'll send you the money later.
No problem. Send me cases. Just So,
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So tell us about, I think you have master degree of cosmetic dentistry from UCLA. Which year was that?
Whoa, it's a while back now. 2011. We did that, me and some of my colleagues. That was before we really had a lot of the regional, courses that was running. And it was just at that time the best course that we could find. And, the States has obviously been at the forefront of the aesthetic revolution. I think the Europeans will probably differ with that.
Yeah.
But it was just a great course, UCLA being a great institution. And we had some great mentors on that course. So, that's 2011, long time ago.
Wow, long time.
And I still had some hair.
But time is running very fast.
It is indeed.
Yeah. But now 2011 and how you managed, I want you to talk to me about the time management, because I know you are a very busy man. You are parenting 3 beautiful kids and you own 9 clinics. You manage them. So how do you do that?
When you get older, when you sit and look back at things, it looked now that you have had this amazing plan, but it turns out that things have just worked out. What I did, however, I was fortunate enough when I actually worked in the UK to work in a big group, and I was one of the what they call associates. So I worked with a guy that had 8 clinics, and I could see him, have a lot of time with his family, and I didn't have a family at that, but I always kind of thought I liked this concept, not just for freeing up time. Time is a novelty, we need to work with that. And unfortunately, dentistry and in your industry, in certain industries, you're selling time. So it's not in your hands to use freely because you're selling that commodity. But I realized that if I ever have to do this or something or business within dentistry, I would first and foremost like to surround myself with like-minded specialist dentists.
This is it, yeah.
Because although I've learned to do everything, and we all learn to do everything, and I was kind of good at, most things, I quickly realized that if I really am true to the oath that I take to look after another human being's oral health, you need to focus on what you are very much interested in and good at, and not think that you can do it all. Hence, I adopted that philosophy when I opened the clinics, when I started expanding the clinics to get the specialist with me as soon as possible. so that we can offer the patients the best overall treatment. That ultimately coincided with the fact that I found myself a little bit more free on my own time. And I've just then kind of continued down that line of sharing, not trying to keep everything for yourself. And my dad always said, you do the right thing and, the money will come.
Yeah.
And that was always my philosophy. And I felt the right thing to do was to get specialists on board that can help me with the workload. We do the best thing for the patient. That then also worked further on me, giving away more of the things that most people probably like to keep for themselves. And just trusting and building a culture where, people want to remain with you. Because that's not just on the patient side, it's also on the people that worked for me. I never had a ban clause. I never had issues with that type of thing because, I shook a hand of someone and, I was clear if they didn't want to work with me, then they shouldn't work with me. They should work somewhere else. So I think if you have that kind of outlook and philosophy, then all of this stuff comes together. And now I sit here many years later and we've built a substantial business. And I found myself having a lot of free time that I could dedicate to my family. And that ultimately was now turned out to be one of the most important things that I could have done. I didn't plan all of that from the scratch. I'm just saying it kind of worked out that way. Now I look like this very clever guy that did that. But, so for any young person out there listening, come to me, I'll give you the recipe and you can start it better than I did. But that's how it transpired, yes.
Yeah. I remember I visited you at the office maybe 4 years back before COVID. And we were discussing about one case. And you told me, Ayham, listen, do you have any clinics I can buy? Okay, just tell me if you see any clinic I can buy. I said to you, Jaco, you already bought 4 clinics. You want to buy more? Are you sure? He said, yeah, after 3 years, you will see, either you will say like, Jaco is crazy or successful man. And now I can tell you are successful man. So from that time. But you mentioned something very important, like the patient's experience, or you take care about the patients. Is it your focal point of success? How you look at the patient when they step to your clinic or they book an appointment?
It's not just about patients. I think if it's your DNA, to live by a certain value system and truth be one of that, then you ultimately do things differently. I'm also in an environment that I had the privilege to work in different countries, and I see how the system works.
Which countries?
I worked in the UK, Bahrain, obviously qualified in South Africa. I did my stint in the US and I landed up in Dubai.
Multi-international.
Yes. So I've had all of that. I think basically it's a value system. Again, as I said, my father did tell me that, you do the right thing and whatever comes. And if it's money, it comes. If it's, gratification, it comes. All of that stuff, just do the right thing. And you have a privilege as a dentist or any healer, for that matter, any clinician. It's a privilege to work on other human beings. We're not selling cups or water bottles. And you have to take that privilege seriously. And our profession, you're only as good as your last patient, in a way. Marketing is great and you can do a lot of it, but ultimately the word of mouth is the strongest thing. So going out from that philosophy, we just build everything on top of it. You have to make everybody in your organization understand it is all about the patient. True. They pay for the service.
Yeah.
And if you then tie everything into that to make everybody in an organization understand that they are the same. My most specialized dentist is not better in my eyes than my cleaner. Because my bathroom needs to be hotel quality. Otherwise, the patient using my bathroom think that my specialist hands are not clean if I have a dirty bathroom. So all of these little critical elements, they're non-essential for most people. But for me, they were essential that every person in my organization focuses on it so that we ultimately deliver that service that our patients seemingly pay for. It's not just what you do in the clinic, it's everything around it. And there's so many touch points. And staying on that and having the like-minded people, you have to recruit well at the end of the day. And then have that philosophy, that DNA that goes right through your business so that everybody knows exactly how to deliver that. Everybody can do the work.
Exactly.
But it's the heart behind the work. And I think in these days we lose the heart.
That's true.
I've worked in many places and you lose the heart. If you're very focused on just the money, then the quality goes. You cannot do everything right. So it depends on where that focus is. And our focus has always just been the next patient out of our door. Are they saying, wow, this was a great experience? Or are they commenting on something that was not nice? And I think if you focused on the fact, can we create a wow moment, especially in this profession, it's not easy, then I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So you focus on the patient's experience, and I feel when I go to your clinic, I feel there is hospitality from the way which the reception talking to everyone and the waiting area and how the clinician go out to bring the patient inside and taking care of the dental health. Then after the patient come back home, then another follow-up, right? So you have very good patient experience. But I will ask you specifically about the specific patient with the royal family in Bahrain. They're very special patients, right? It's very risky to deal with the royal family.
I tell you, it is risky, especially if they show up and then there's 5 people with machine guns in your surgery, and you have to remove a tooth. Security is very heavy. So you kind of learn to up your game when it comes to that. Listen, I always lived the philosophy that for me, most people are the same. I appreciate royal family, and the leaders. I've always gone out of the fact to just make my organization understand that you don't necessarily have different services just because somebody is royal. And our service is based on anybody that can have a royal service. The things that I concentrated on, Ayman, was the non-critical, essential things. Our design of our clinics has been thought out.
Okay.
It's not just designed. It was thought out. There must be parking. It must be easy locations. It must be accessible. If it comes in, there must be a different smell. Noise-canceling walls, coffee aromas, all of these things that industry, especially the service industries use, hospitality services use. So we brought all of that stuff in design of what we do to calm people down, because you have to start there. That first 7 seconds is the impression that we leave. And we give this service and having great dentists at the end of the day, and then the aftercare is just as important. Once people has paid for the service, you still want to find out that all is well. You complete the circle. So with us, that's our royal service.
Yeah.
And luckily for everybody has access to that.
Yeah, that's true. So this is why, like when the patient came, they shouldn't negotiate about the price much, because everything is studied. The price list is studied. All of this experience, it's costly, but you give it to the patient. It's all about patient's experience.
I think there's an element that is difficult to explain to people, and that's the value proposition. You and I know what it costs to offer that service. How much do you explain that to your customers? But at one point, you have to have an innate value of what you do. You feel proud of what you do. You know you're doing the right thing. It is not for everybody. If people shop around just on price and that is their modus operandi, you're not going to win over everybody. But there are people that truly understand value for them, and they don't mind engaging in your service. So we're very much about that, creating the value aspect, and that there's no gap. If there's a massive value gap in what you offer, people will find you out. So you have to stay on your game in order to to maintain that. And that's basically what we try to do.
Yeah, that's a beautiful mindset. So we believe always there is a demand on the quality. So whenever we make quality, somebody will come and take this quality. What do you say for the patients which they come to you and ask you how much the veneer cost?
I have gone from the philosophy to not answer that before I understand how much important it is to the one asking. You know, I'm a believer in what we call emotional marketing. What we do is enhancing people's smiles. You know, if you have a child that gets bullied at school because his teeth are skew or not straight, we can help. If I have somebody that is not happy with the color of their teeth, we can help. If you have people that want to cosmetically enhance something, we can help. So the person that's asking for the service, if you just ask the right questions and you delve a little deeper, you would understand how important it is to them. And once you reach that point, then money is not the issue.
The issue, yeah.
If you start with the money as the first, step, then we would not understand each other. Because for me, I don't have enough time to explain to people what their value is. I know my value, but what is it that they feel the value of such a treatment or such a change would be to them? So asking the right questions, you do find that out. And then, to be honest, we found that most of those cases end up not being an issue when it comes to the pricing that we charge. People phoning up, what's the veneer price? We always get that. You get the shoppers.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes good to just move them on,
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to take everybody as a client.
Exactly.
People that appreciate what you do and has value for them as well. I think that's the ones that you want.
But sometimes they really don't know what is the value. So you explain to them sometimes, like, what is the value, which value you get. Because maybe they will spend a lot of money for car or for hairstyle or something, but they forget about their health and the aesthetic. Because smile, I believe, it's number 2 factor in the beauty of the face after the eyes. Or sometimes it's even, to me, it's number 1. Some of the patient doesn't know what is the value they will get. So how you explain to them that?
The process of finding out what somebody wants is, as I mentioned earlier, it's key. So we have a set of question and information that we like to gather. It's up to a clinician also to have the training in all of this. There's a lot of schooling that goes around this. You don't learn this stuff in dental school, but you get better at understanding this. Then the most important thing after that is to establish trust. If someone feels that you are selling them something, against you are offering them what they are looking for, there is a fine line between selling and not selling. So you as a clinician, but also in essence a business negotiator at that point, need to understand that. Hence, I have done a lot of reading on selling.
Mm-hmm.
I have done a lot of extramural coaching on business and all of these things so that you can understand to bring these things together. Unfortunately, dentists don't learn to be salesmen. Bedside manner. But the bottom line is it's trust. People do not have the time, in essence, to go to 10, 20 different clinics and just ask about price. If that is solely you, you'll find your clinic. But people that really want to understand something more, if you get down into their psyche and you understand them, and they build a trust because you are actually giving them a solution more than a selling pitch, you get them. I do the same thing. I take my nice car and I go to one place, another place, and you kind of, at the point I feel good here. Yeah. Do I pay more than that guy? I don't have the time to go and find it out. Is this affordable for me? Yeah. So I trust them. It looks like they're doing a nice job. And yeah, the price is reasonable for me. I can pay it and then I go. So it's basically the same thing. But why do they get my custom? Is because there's an element of I trust what's going on here, and dentists should remember that. It's very important to build on the trust factor. Fortunately, we talk too fast, we sell too fast, life's too fast. You think you've nailed it, patient leaves, and they don't book, and you ask why. Then you think the receptionist didn't take a deposit and all of the things that happened.
Figuring out.
It started with you. You just didn't take enough time to establish the trust. And when the trust comes, it stays, unless you violate it down the line. But that trust goes to the children, it goes to the family, and that's how it rolls. So successful dentists, you can always look back. They're very good at this. They're very good at the bedside manner and actually managing to build that trust with their patient base.
Yeah, and you have an amazing clinicians. You get them very good training to do that, and but I feel like you are choosing best of the best dentists in Dubai, recruit them. So what is your criteria for that?
I mean, Dubai is a big place, but it's a small place. So
that's true.
you do start to, within our field, you do know who are the good dentists that are around, and people approach us. I think we've established ourselves as one of the leaders, and we are continuing to lead from there. We are well known also, I find out, as a good place to work at.
Yeah.
Because what most of our competition or other leaders do not understand is the value of having the right culture in your business.
True.
And I've been in Dubai more than 20 years. And I can tell you that's the most important thing in my business. You have the right culture, and people want that. It's not always about the money. It's about how happy they are, how appreciated they are. That has attracted a lot of people to us. Not just the fact that we lead, but we are known in the market to be that place to work for. We don't shout on each other. We respect each other. Everybody is the same. We're treated well. We live by values. As we live by values, our business lives by values. And we try and make that whole team thing really work. And my focus is not on making money. My focus is on making my people happy.
Yeah.
Because once they're happy, the money will come. The patients will be happy. My dad said that. I believe it. So that is our focus, and that is known in the market. So we do attract that. And then through the hiring process, yes, I mean, we have processes in place and great teams that work on this. We make mistakes.
Of course,
not everybody
everyone
works
makes
out.
Mistakes.
Your CV looks very good, and the interview goes well. And at the end of the day, it doesn't turn out to be the case when the live drama plays out. But I think touchwood, we've been very good with that, and we will continue to lead, and we will continue to attract the best of the best, and together we will build the vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the repetition is not only for the patients; the repetition also for the business culture which you build.
Yep, it goes hand in hand. There's no separation.
Yeah,
it all works together.
This is the criteria of the leadership. The leadership is more about, you can say, parenting the staff, because
and
every day.
Funny thing is that that was also not in a manual when you and I grew up, And as I grow up, I get to learn this every day. It made me a better father. It made me a better husband. Maybe a better friend. I don't know if it made me a better customer for you. I don't know. We can talk about it.
That's
You're
why
trying. But it continues to be that. If you have the philosophy that you're always a student in life, then you're okay. If you think you've made it, in my eyes, you're not okay. Right? No one makes it. You are at different levels in life, but if you don't always know that there's something to learn till the day we die, then I find it difficult. And I do come across individuals like that. And you come sometimes across clinicians like that they just know it all. And those are probably not the people that is suitable for the dental studio, because at the dental studio, we don't know it all. We learn and we improve and we make it great, and we continue to do that till the end of time.
Yeah, this
Or
is
when I can't
yeah.
work it.
This is what they call for the competition is an infinite game. So you cannot win. It's not like going to win a game. It's an infinite game. You have, this is what I believe. You have to keep going, learning, teaching, parenting, and enjoy the journey, because it's not like just hit the target and after that you will set another target for you, right?
Exactly.
So just enjoy the journey.
I
That's
get to
what
know you a lot better now. Maybe we should start paddle together.
You play paddle?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I started.
And
I've got my own paddle.
which one you have?
Yeah, I don't know the name.
Siox? Maybe
Yeah, Socks X.
Siox.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's very good.
It is good. It's probably too good for me, but it works.
But you have to be careful, because I had an injury in my wrist. It took me 10 months to heal. And I was playing, when you see the ball jumping from the glass, you get addicted to it. So you cannot leave it.
Great combination between tennis and squash. And yeah, I love it. I love it.
So what's your favorite sport?
Sure. I grew up in South Africa, and there you don't have a choice. You do it all.
Rugby?
So rugby was I would say my best sport. It ended up being cricket at the end, but rugby, tennis. I was one of those fortunate people that could play everything. I was blessed with some ball sense, so I can play with that. But the one I moved along furthest with was my rugby career. Yes, unfortunately, came to an end with a bad injury, and that was that. Hence, it led me to dentistry. Funny enough, but
Yeah.
yes, it was great, and I think it's very important, to be honest. Now that I'm a father of Sportsman, my son's a professional cricket player now. My two other kids are on scholarships for sports. It doesn't matter if you're at that level. It is just, I find it crucial that kids get exposed to as much as they can, because it worked for me, and to be honest, it works for generations. I just feel this generation, they and this is a tough time for just the generation that our kids are growing up. I have to say, we didn't have social media and games
Yeah.
at our hand. I had to go to the shop down and play Pac-Man on a thing with my coin. So it was not easy accessible, and things are so easy accessible for them now that it is difficult for them to get off the couch.
Yeah.
And the schools are not pushing it, because a lot of schools are too careful with who takes part and not take part, and there's so many rules around it. So yeah, I just think it's up to parents to really try and get the kids out of the house, get them active, paddle. It was also not there in my time. That we get that balance within children, because it's very important. That competitive nature, that wanting to be better, that achievement, and I feel good about it. The fitness aspect of it. There's a lot to be said. Take it from old people like me.
Yeah, I'm doing the same, because it's very hard to get them out of the monitors in front of them. Now, in our generation, maybe my mother was bringing us from the street. Now we are pushing them to the street. I just close the door, taking them from the ears to the street. Good, don't show me your face. They get sweating, and that's good. But in Dubai, you can make it, because we have a lot of good communities here, so it's safe place. I let them go out and play. How old is your eldest kid?
My oldest boy just turned 19 a month ago.
Uh-huh.
He's finished school. He's now a professional cricket player, which was a tough one, because he decided not to go to university, and but he's very focused. He's very dedicated. He's professional of mind. He has this amazing opportunity, and he's living his dream, which is, it's fine for me, because that's what you want your kids to kind of live the dream. The other two are 15 and 13, and they go to school in the UK.
So they are living in the UK.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They lived here. They were all born here, but when the opportunity came for them to, further their studies alongside of their sporting prospects, we felt the UK was the better call.
Mm. getting back to dentistry, what dentistry could do for sports?
Funny enough, I think I'm the only sports dentist qualified. I've not seen any other people, but yeah, I've got a sports dentistry qualification as well. I think the way that professional sports has grown, it kind of filters down to where our kids play in schools as well. The same injury happens. So the understanding of, especially rugby, these contact sports, American football, the understanding of the injuries is great, because that information that's gathered in the professional ranks now filters through to the kids. We are coming to a point where we are involved in sports now. I'm going to get more involved with it going forward now. Mouth guards and concussion treatments, that kind of stuff, where I think dentistry, sports dentists can be more involved. And you will also in time see that the mouth guard will change into a device.
How come it will change?
It will turn into a device that will ultimately be mainstream. At the moment, it's just in testing phases, but it will be mainstream, where they have chips implanted that will calculate concussion forces. Yeah. It can measure dehydration levels and a lot of these vital signs in your mouth guard. Plug it in, and it gives you all of that. It tells you to drink water, you're not drinking enough. It tells you the last hit you had is above the threshold. You need to get tested. Remember, professional sports, it's already there. You have the whole medical team. Somebody gets a knock, they go off, they get tested. School sports, we don't have that. A guy gets knocked out, or not knocked out. I guess hopefully the teacher will then realize the guy needs to go off. But I have played sport at a very high level, and I got seriously hurt, and I kept on playing. And so did millions of us. We didn't have the technology then to tell us, oh, you need to go off now. So mouth guards, I think, is going to play a very important part in the future to give us that data to make better judgments on field for the safety of players. And I think we as dentists are going to play a major role in that.
Definitely. So if some
And
player
labs.
came, labs is not allowed to talk. I'm only the one who is talking. This is the truth. So if some player get late to the training, like you say, I'm charging my sport guard now, I want to play.
Yeah, I think with technology, you're obviously going to have all of these little things that you're going to have to deal with. Sorry, I was late for training because my sports guard is still on charge. But yeah, I think once it's mainstream, we will probably have to find a way to deal with that.
Yeah. Okay, tell me about the implants. Because implants now, it's a very good option for the patients who don't have teeth. They want to have a teeth. Previously, we were doing bridges, or you were doing bridges. But now there is a very good alternative option, which is the implant, and it's becoming more advanced. So what do you do for the patient if they came without teeth? Do you suggest them to go for bridge or implants?
I mean, you have to be honest. It's very mainstream now. Implants has been with us for a long time, to be honest, but it is very mainstream. It's like the old cell phone, and everybody had the big brick, and now you get a cell phone in the weirdest place. Everybody has it. I think implants is kind of reaching that phase now. It's available. It's cost effective in a way. So my philosophy, if it was my grandma, I would want the best for her. The issues with implant, it has to have enough bone, it has to have good bone quality, the planning phase of it is still costly, in the majority of cases. There's the surgical aspect, I think the mental aspect of it. But I know that digital dentistry, digital implant planning, the way the things are going, we can be very specific where we insert implants. We can do it very atraumatically. Healing phase is very quick. Success rates are very high. Just need to have the people behind the scenes know what they do and the planning of it. And hence also the cost aspect of it has reduced considerably over the years, and different choices that are available. My first point of reference to anybody would be to try and seek that treatment other than bridge work. Bridge work has worked, but I feel there's better alternatives. Till the day we get to grow teeth again, which everybody asks me for. They've read this, seen this. Okay, it's not happening yet. I think implants is definitely the best option, and with the planning and digitization of that treatment now.
How you digitalize it? Like what's the digital here? Like how you make it digital?
I mean, it is the concept, right? Digital dentistry or digital planning. What we are able to do from a clinical perspective is to plan it to precision and communicate that with our labs.
Yeah. Which is me.
That's you. And ultimately have a very determined result at the end. But it also allows us through the facial scan, through the CT scan, through all of the scanning tools available to us, merging this data to present to the patient. It's like them watching a movie. It's live. It happens. You can see the before, the after. You can all the touch points during the treatment. Whereas previously, we had no way of really explaining what's going on. It gives them chance to make an informed decision. They ultimately ask the right questions. We come back to building the trust, all of that stuff. And it is invaluable for the uptake these days of these treatments. Single crown implants, I'm not talking about, it's more the reconstructive part. It's just invaluable to make somebody see the before. It's like test driving your Tesla, and then ultimately, yes, I'll go for it.
Yeah.
So this is the best way we can make people test drive in a way before they ultimately go down with the decision on.
So they can see the plan before the clinician or the surgeon start placing the implant. And here we reduce the error for the clinician that is using freehand, which is like there is some error could happen because it's freehand. So we specify it with one surgical guide, everything planned virtually. We show it, or you show it to the patient, like here the implant will be, and all of this implant will support the prosthesis or the bridge.
It's a partnership,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you need good labs like Charismatic, for instance. I've looked around, and you and I have talked about this. Charismatic is also one of the labs that lead within that space. So for us to really be sure we can deliver that to our patient, the lab plays a very important role. And you have to have that partner because there's still disconnect. If there's some analog feature within the digital process, it's still not right. I want to digitize the whole thing. And for that, you need the right lab partners as well to maximize that. Not just the result, which is very predictable in those cases, very precise, but also the presentation and making sure that gets delivered, because the doctors do their part, but the lab obviously do a major part, in making sure that those treatments are successful.
Yeah, 100%. And the way to be successful in that we will start from the end. So we will start from the prosthesis, which the patients want. We do all of this because we want to give some prosthesis, fixed prosthesis to the patient. So they will forget about the denture, which is the removable one, needs cleaning and all of this stuff. But the fixed is better than removable, right?
Listen, you've built a very successful business, right? I've been here a long time. You've built a very successful lab, not just locally, but internationally. So what are the issues that you face? I mean, I know that computers and these things change rapidly in our daily lives. And I know the technology that you guys in the lab work with must be changing very quickly. And the decision to invest in the things that you need must be a difficult one, I guess, because you're not always sure if in 6 months you need to update or, there's a new model out, and these things do not come cheap. So what are the constraints and the difficulties and the worries of a very successful lab owner in
Yeah.
Dubai?
Yeah, this is a really good question because this is the core. This is the core business, the innovation, because I have to try many things until I get something right. So I get failure sometimes. I try invest in somewhere, then I get failed in that. But from out of maybe 10 things I'm trying, I get 3 things. But these 3 things is really give me or make me do something sophisticated, especially in digital dentistry, because I tried many softwares, and it's not only to buy the software, it's how to learn the learning curve, how you look at the software, and how you innovate after you learn, because you have to think out of the box. The software is for everyone, but how you look at the software and how you invent to make it better. So sometimes in one case we use more than 13 softwares to get like for one patient, and we know exactly what we are doing. So this is the technical part. Dealing with all over the world is not easy, because every country has different culture and different way which they approach the lab and different communication. So for example, for the GCC area, the patients sometimes they are picky, they are very focused on the incisal edge, and they want very high standard of aesthetic, which we have it, but sometimes they are picky, like they don't accept anything like asymmetrical look or anything which is existing for the natural teeth, like asymmetrical is there, but they don't accept it. They want everything perfect. Take for example the UK, they want straight teeth, most of the patient I'm talking. I remember one of the clinician in the UK, we send him very nice mammalum and translucency in the teeth. And when he placed it in the patient's mouth, the patient doesn't like it because he said, this is defect. I don't want it. I want straight with one color, and that's it. That's all what I want. And we did it. We made some notches at the beginning, but the patient didn't accept it. Here, they love it. There, it's defect for them. So it's difficult to understand the culture, but that's good. The good part that in our lab we have multi-nationalities that dealing with the other markets in their language, in their way of approaching and communication and the product itself. So it's not easy, but we get used to it and we are developing.
Business side of labs in our region, I mean, obviously you built one of the biggest. How do you find the competition, the regulation? Is it difficult, or are you at this stage where it's kind of automatic, it runs and you have to stay on your toes? How does that go on the lab side?
No, nothing is automatic. We have to work hard. We have to open our eyes all the time. Now, fortunately, we are in Dubai, and Dubai supporting the businesses. It's very good they have very good labor contract. You can hire good people like you guys. So you recruit.
We've got an audience.
It's okay. So it's easier to recruit and train here in Dubai. So the government is supporting us in Dubai. Yeah, and this is honest opinion.
You will probably have to stay on top of technology, I guess, because you guys have always done that. I think that's why you are successful.
Yeah.
And why a lot of us use your services and international as well, because you have always taken the time and the effort to invest in what is at the forefront. And it's a difficult thing to do because you have to spend money.
Exactly.
People
Not
don't
only
spend
money, time as well.
Having the right people on board, because it's also, the issues that come with running a business and you working with a lot of people and a lot of different nationalities. So having that mindset as proved, very valuable for you in reaching the success that you've had. So yeah, congratulations. I think I've taken over your podcast.
That's true. So the technical part is because to fabricate one teeth, we need at least 9 technicians to work on it. And every small mistake, it could happen. It will be like snowball. It will be very big and it will affect the clinician and the chair side as well as the patients. Everyone will has not good experience. So that's why there are, in every department, we have a leader for quality control assurance. Then after we finish the case, it comes to the quality control, the major quality control. Like we have one model and we test the crowns or the veneers on the model before we send it to the clinician to be sure that they will not waste their time. So we think about the patient. We don't think only about the clinician, that he's happy or not. No, but we want the patient also to has a very good experience in the clinic. That's how we think about it. This is our value. And like what you said, the money will flow, but you work, you think about the people which they trust you to send the case to you, and you do the manufacturing.
You focus on the right things, as I say. The rest happens.
Yeah, it's not easy, but we are on it. We have nothing to do. Just
great
focus.
Job. Great job.
Yeah. What do you advise the new generation, or what do you advise yourself if you are 10 years from now?
10 years younger.
10 years
maybe 20 years younger. Yeah, if I look back at things, I started with the right mindset, right? So there's nothing there I could better on. I was excited. I really believed in everything. Then reality strikes. One of the things that I would tell a young dentist now is please do additional study on business. Do additional study on techniques of, call it selling. Right? Selling is the wrong word, but there's a special technique in how to engage with people, how to win their trust. You work on that bedside manner. For most of us, it comes over time. Some of us are very good with it. We didn't know we were good at it. I've worked with so many doctors over my time, and they are exceptional clinicians, but they are not successful.
Yeah, technically they are very good.
I would go to them.
Yeah.
But bedside, they are not successful, and it's either a language barrier, it's a personality barrier, it's something. Everybody can overcome that. English is also not necessarily my first language, but your persona, you can change that. You can get good at things. I was never good at public speaking, for instance, and I had to speak in front of 500 people in my days, and you learn to do that. You're still nervous, but you go and deliver. So if somebody starts now, they do not teach you the stuff in university, and it is as crucial as your dentistry. Learn to be a business person. Learn to sell. Learn about culture. Learn how to treat other people right. And you start your clinic that way. Also understand that you will not know everything. And don't think you will know everything, and don't think you'll be good at everything. Yes, you leave the college like that, but reality is not like that. So find your niche, specialize in it, and then get your colleagues to join you. And together you work as a team to deliver the right result. And in that, with your business acumen, with the culture, with everything, you are able to build maybe a milieu around you where you will have some time that you've created for yourself. And that time you can best spend with your family. So these things, when you get older, becomes crucial, and you cannot get that back. So if those lessons I probably were told when I was younger, I would have gone into it a different way. I just kind of gone into it, and I kind of learned it through my time. But I think people can do it a little quicker and different if they kind of pick all of these advices up from where they start off, instead of working in the industry for 20 years to learn it the hard way. A lot of mistakes, a lot of money lost, made, lost. So that I would probably say that. And one thing is, dentistry need to be your love. It's a very difficult profession.
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
So do your homework before you think that, wow, it pays well. Yes, I've got a lot of time. You really need to be in it. It's not easy. And I find a lot of my colleagues that I talk to, that's kind of caught them out over time, when you get to the stage where we are, there's not a lot of happy dentists around.
No, you are happy then.
Yeah, I'm happy dentist. But, it is a very tough profession, and you need to be ready for it.
Yeah, I always said like the experience or the knowledge will come after the university. People think that if I go to the university, I will get good degrees, then I can go to the market, but they will teach you only 20%, even if you are from Harvard. When you go to the practical market or dealing with the people, it's totally different. I know one of my friends, he's a dentist. Technically, he's very weak. He's very poor. But he has very nice personality, and he's busy all the time. So this one at least
that's the point. You obviously want to be good at both, but you can see the importance is probably more into the trust factor and your personality side. And everybody can have that. You can adopt that like an actor. They learn to act, and you can also learn to act, but you need to understand how important that is. Don't find it out later. There's a lot that young people can learn right now that we know, and go, if it's not taught to you by the college or the dental school, go on courses. Go do some extracurricular learning in the first 5 years of your profession, and you'll be flying.
But some of them, they will say like, I got too many courses and not getting better.
I tell you, there's always something you learn, Ayman. That you may not learn a lot, you always learn something. And that's what I found. At every course I've ever gone to in my life, there's a golden nugget in there that stood me in good stead going forward. So never think you don't learn. That's also that mindset that I talked about earlier. You need to have an open mindset to learn. And I think there's a lot out there for people to really upschool themselves very quickly, and not having to run and never stagnate.
Yeah.
Don't come to a point and stagnate, because we tend to do that when we hit 40. We're like happy, and never stagnate. Always be a learner and just upschool yourself.
Yes, you need very self-disciplined and commitment. Yeah, this is it. Thank you for being here again, Dr. Jaco-Smith. It was very nice to have you here, and I wish the audience get benefit of this amazing talk. So this is Ayham Shaban, again, founder and owner of Charismatic Dental Laboratory. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Good one.
Yeah, good one.